Our story starts with Hae Jun and Sanya. They are famous in their high school, received many gifts from the schoolgirls, and of course the messenger is their non-biological sister Ju-won. She gets used to be bullied by other schoolgirls because the girls think they had a love relationship because of their different last names. That explained why she is so determined to make their last name one, to avoid getting bullied in school. One day while they are riding on the bus to their high school, she reveals that she is bullied by the schoolgirls because of them. Hae Jun advises her to fight them back, but Sanya intervenes, telling her to get the teacher involved instead of getting into trouble. Meanwhile, Hae Jun asks her to ignore Sanya and do as he had told her, fight girls. The good boy and the bad boy. In school, two girls gives Ju-won gifts to send it to Sanya and Hae Jun. She agrees, but on one condition: to assign a contract that the girls will not ask her if the boys read their letters or not. The girls misunderstand her that she blocks them on purpose because she has feelings for the boys. Ju-won decides to stop the girls as Hae Jun advised her earlier. She drags the girl to the school pond and jumps into it, leaving the girl behind. The other students gather around the pond. Hae Jun and Sanya are learned that she is in trouble and they come rushing to help. San-ha scares the bully girls away, given his jacket to her, and takes Hae Jun and Ju-won with him. After school, Sanya is upset at Hae Jun for advising Ju-won fight the girls back. Ju-won joins them and they ride the bus back home. It starts raining. Ju-won and Hae Jun decide to run home. Sanya hesitates before joining them. At the neighborhood, the elderly neighbors ask Hae Jun if his mother is returning. San-ha and Hae Jun try to defend and ask them to stop treating them as unfortunate kids. At home, Ju-won suggests the adoption topic again. She is about to talk to the parents about what the neighbors said, but the boys stop her. Meanwhile, San-ha keeps ignoring his maternal grandmother's phone call. Also, Dae-wook receives a call from her and goes out to answer it. Young-jae, Ju-won and Hae Jun offer their food to San-ha as a way of empathizing with him and cheer him up, but he leaves to his apartment upstairs. Ju-won speaks that the old woman had no business calling Dae-wook or San-ha, as Young-hee had already remarried and started a new family. The two friends Ju-won and Hae Jun take the rice ball which Jung-ji prepared to San-ha, force him to eat and try to cheer him up. San-ha kicks them out of his room because he needs to study. On the stairs, Hae Jun asks her why she calls San-ha Appa and calls him just you. The next day, the counselor gets upset at San-ha because he chose an unknown college in his town, instead of applying in Seoul Medical School since his grades are excellent. Sanya argues that all doctors after graduation are the same no matter which college. The teacher asks Sanya to decide after discussing it with his father. Ju-won sees San-ha with his classmate, Hwee-ho, going to the music room, and her classmate Dal tells her that the two are dating, which upsets Ju-won. Meanwhile, at the music room, he tells her that they should not be in the room alone because their classmates would assume they are together. She was thinking that he likes her because when she confessed her love he said yeah, and she is annoyed that he didn't apply to Seoul University. After school, Ju-won ignores San-ha refusing to talk to him, and she reveals that she noticed him with Hwee-ju. She says she is upset because they are a family, but he replies they are not a family and are not related by blood. Ju-won gets sad and cries because of his words. In the basketball hall where Hae Jun is playing with his friends, they notice a weird guy snapping pictures for him. Hae Jun chases after the guy while he runs away. He drops his camera. Hae Jun finds photos of him in the camera and thinks if his mom had sent the man from Seoul. Elsewhere, Hae Jun's aunt, Yi-hyun, who is now pregnant, she brings gifts for them. Their neighbor shows up, calls Yi-hyun out for not checking up on her nephew often. While Yi-hyun is leaving, Hae Jun meets her. He offers to pay for her cab ride back home, but she tells him that this is Mr. Jung-ji money and demands him to spend it wisely and never be a burden to Young-jae or his family. He remembers being called out by the customers for being a burden to Young-jae and remembers how Young-jae stood up for him. At dinner, everyone wonders why Ju-won was upset and goes to her room, but San-ha reveals that is because of their argument. He follows after her and apologizes to her, telling her that he is not dating Hwee-ju but she was Hae Jun's ex-girlfriend. So she comes out of her room and has her meal with her family. The next day, he teases Hae Jun that he told Ju-won but his ex-girlfriend. Meanwhile, Hwee-ju talks to Hae Jun asking him to get back together, but he refuses, saying that she threw him out for dating Sanya, and he does not want to hurt Ju-won's feelings. Ju-won tells Dal that it was Hae Jun who was dating Hwaju, but they have broken up now. It seems that Dal has a crush on him. Hwaju meets Ju-won in the music room. She tells Ju-won that she dumped Hae Jun, adding she is not his real sister. Ju-won argues that they are a family even if they aren't a blood related and leaves her. Hwaju chases after Ju-won and them she trips. She tries to show Ju-won as a bully, but San-ha shows up and defends Ju-won. That night, Hae Jun buys fried chicken and cake for Ju-won to reconcile her. The next day, Dal asks Ju-won to take her to Hae Jun's next basketball game. She is shocked to learn that her friend has a crush on Hae Jun. Hae Jun learns that the owner of the camera came and took it. He thinks that's his mom has returned. He chases after a woman and call out mom. Meanwhile, Dal watches him. He gets embarrassed. He takes her out for a meal and asks her not to tell Ju-won. The next day in the basketball hall, a man shows up and comes to Hae Jun revealing that he is his father.